She was pointing out, she's like, what's that? And I was like, it's Mothman. And I tried to explain what Mothman is. And she's like, is that the thing responsible for the coronavirus? And I was like, no, it's not. Mothman's not responsible for the coronavirus.
That we know of.
Lindsay.
Hi, Erica. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Oh, we're sleepy, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah, sleepy's a good word. So, welcome everyone to the 4th installment of our podcast, known as Just Might Exist. Lindsay, what's our podcast about?
It's about anything and everything that just might exist. Bigfoot. Bigfoot, and also other stuff. What? Tell him I said hi.
I will. We're best friends. Thank you.
That's good.
I totally know who my
He seems like a cool dude.
He's the coolest.
Good.
So, Lindsay.
Yes.
If you had to take a guess, what region of the world do you think that the cryptid we're talking about today is from?
Northern Europe, like Russia or Sweden or something like that.
I love that because that was very close to the cryptid I was going to do. So,
okay.
As everyone listening knows, we didn't have an episode last week. That's because I was sick and dying with the flu. It was miserable.
Yeah.
And
it's okay. I was also driving across the country, so it was a win-win. We had an off week. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yes, thank you very much. By the way, just so you know, today is a Jason-only podcast because one of the Jasons just successfully defended his master's thesis, go Jason, and the other one brought me popsicles when I had 102-degree fever.
Whoa. Good week for Jasons.
Yeah. Congrats to them.
Yeah, so if you're not named Jason, this isn't even a specific Jason. If your first name is not Jason, you need to stop listening.
Yes. Thank you. We forgot to make that announcement earlier, but it's very important to know who each episode is for.
Yeah. Yes. I was going to say something else, and then I forgot.
That's okay. Well, the cryptid I was going to do last week is called the... It's from...
Okay.
And it's basically their version of a... But it's just a... with... and instead of...
Whoa. We love to see it.
Yeah. It was going to be great. As I was feverish, I kept thinking about, okay, I need to get my notes together. I'm going to do it in this order. And then I would fall asleep because I couldn't look at screens, and I'd have a nightmare about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I had nightmares about this freaking cryptid for an entire, 40-hour period. And so I can't do it anymore, and I had to find a new one.
I respect that, but if I did it in the future, would you still have nightmares about it?
No.
Okay, I will keep that in mind.
But anyway, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I'm so sick of thinking about this stupid thing. So now we're going to Africa. Lindsay, you've been to Africa.
I was going to guess Africa. I was thinking Africa, and then I'm like, wow, we are of one mind. I have been to Africa.
We share
South Africa,
custody
to be specific.
of a single brain cell.
It's true. He travels back and forth, and
yeah.
He's not doing so great.
I don't think either of us have custody this week.
Uh-oh.
I think it's on vacation.
Can he do that? Is he allowed to do that by himself?
I don't know. I don't have a brain cell to think about it.
Neither of us have brain cells to decide. Ah!
All right. So, Lindsay, with your vast knowledge of Africa, even though it's from a completely different region, have you ever heard of the Emela Ntouka?
No, I have not.
It's probably because it's from the Cameroon/Congo area and not where you went.
Yeah, it is not from... I have been to one country in Africa. South Africa, to be specific. Not that place. But I'm excited to learn.
Okay. So the name for this cryptid comes from the people living in the... God, I can't say any words, and I have to say so many tough words. All podcasts, I don't know why I did this myself.
There's just too many words. Too many words.
The name comes from people living in the Likuala region I was like, oh,
Your face.
For all those who can't see, my eyes got very wide and scared when I realized I had to say that word out loud.
It's a very good face.
My face is always a very good face, thanks.
You're correct about that.
I know. And it translates to killer of elephants.
Aw.
Yeah, a little bit sad, but kind of badass.
Well, are elephants endangered or are they just cute? Are they both?
They were endangered at one point. I don't know if they still were. Let's ask our friend Gagaliku.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
What did you call that? Do you still have a fever?
And find out.
Oh, Lord.
African elephants are listed as vulnerable and Asian elephants as endangered. So,
okay.
No, because
well, they're vulnerable.
Isn't killing the Asian ones, just the African elephants.
He's not doing them any favors. So, the African elephants, not really helping them out. But
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I mean, it is a little bit because I'm spreading awareness.
Oh no, Erica's the cryptid confirmed.
God, I wish. I wouldn't have to have a job if I were a cryptid.
Do cryptids have jobs? Let's discuss.
No.
Mothman has a job. He's a prophet.
Okay, but like, does he get paid? And from who?
He gets paid somehow from me. I'm his boss. He works for me.
Oh, okay. This is new information.
Yeah.
We're gonna table that discussion now.
Fine.
You're Mothman's boss. We get it. Lindsay confirmed. Yeah.
Talk about this dang thing before this is an hour long.
Anyway, back to our show. According to Cryptozoology A to Z, which is an encyclopedia, the Emela Ntouka is as large or larger than an elephant. It does not have hair. Wow, I wrote it has not hair.
Well, okay, so saying it doesn't have hair and it has not hair are two different things. So what did you mean?
It does not have hair.
Well, a lot of things.
I'm just an idiot.
You're not an idiot.
Yes, I am. Me, dum-dum.
Our one brain cell would beg to differ.
Our one brain cell's on vacation. It was not helping me type this. But
anyway,
the Emela Ntouka does not have hair. It is a brown or gray color, and it has a tail kind of like a crocodile. There's also a single horn on the snout that looks like it's made of ivory, and it leaves tracks similar to those of a rhinoceros or an elephant, depending on which source you look at. Also, it makes a low, grumbling, grunting, growling sound.
Same.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Unfortunately, I could not find any eyewitness reports, only white men reporting eyewitness reports, or legends, or folklore.
Interesting, okay.
But it's a thing. So, even though the Emela Ntouka is reportedly a vegetarian, and it eats malombo, leafy plants, and leaves, it is also fiercely territorial. Don't laugh at me, that was a direct quote. It eats leafy plants and also leaves. Malombo, leafy plants, and leaves is a direct quote.
Okay, then I'm laughing at this encyclopedia, not you.
That's okay. It is also fiercely territorial and has been known to literally gorge elephants with its horn, hence the name elephant killer, or killer of elephants.
That makes sense.
The people who live in the area where it's found, which I'm not going to say again, they report that it lives in the forests, near the rivers, and they will not go into the parts of the forest where it lives because they're afraid of being attacked, because, again, fiercely territorial.
Makes sense.
I'm going to show you a picture of the boy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, these pictures...
So in my head...
No, tell me.
Okay, in my head it just looks like a rhino, but with like a big tail.
Kind of. Except it also has floppy ears. So these two pictures are carvings.
Oh,
I'm going to make you
what a nice man.
These carvings were made independently by people in two different regions, and they look very similar. These are photographs taken by Michael Ballett for his 2006 book. I forgot.
Did it say when?
The title.
That's okay. Did it say when the carvings were made?
I don't think it said when they were made.
Okay.
But Lindsay, would you like to describe what you see in these carvings?
Okay, so it's elephant from like the eyes to the back legs, and then instead of a trunk, it's got a big horn and teeth. I mean, elephants have teeth, but this has like, you can see the teeth. And then it's got a very flat tail. It's like a beaver's, but it's pointy and not like a paddle.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to cry. It was so gorgeous.
I painted a picture with my words.
Yes, you did. So that's what it looks like. It's very lovely. I think it looks pretty funky. I like its floppy elephant ears.
Yeah.
Now.
But wait, hold on. Does it have Asian elephant ears? Because don't Asian elephants have little ears?
Oh, yeah. Because African elephants, their ears look like Africa.
Did Kevin Dean teach you that?
No, but I think Disney might have.
That's probably. What's the difference, really? But yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. In the 1980s, Dr. Rory McCall, who was one of the founders of the International Society for Cryptozoology, took 2 trips to the Congo to search for a similar creature known as the Mokele Mbembe, butchered that, but also collected some accounts of the Emela Ntouka. So from what I can gather, the difference between these 2 cryptids is that the Mokele Mbembe has a long neck.
The Mbembe cryptid.
Has
Sick
a long
podcast
neck.
Reference. Okay.
And attacks hippos. But the Emela Ntouka is short and squat, like me, and attacks elephants and buffaloes and other things that live in the forest.
Okay.
So just imagine what you saw, but with a really long neck, like Nessie.
I like that less.
I know. That's why we're not talking about it. That's the only mention. I wish I could have found a copy of his book. I'm sure I could have bought it, but I don't have money, so I didn't.
But yeah, so if you guys want us to do real research, please send a money order to
Send a money order
1123 Cool Street. Yes. Anytown, USA. 12345. That's our P.O. box.
Yeah, we'll get it. Because we're the cooliest.
We will. We are.
And then other reports from Western people include an article in the journal Mammalia by Lucien Blancou from the 1950s and a 1933 mention of the creature in 18 years on Lake Bangweulu, Lake B.
Sure.
By J.E. Hughes. But we will get to one of those later. All right, Lindsay, tell me what you're thinking so far.
I think this is just like a goofy looking elephant. Or like a really... Can elephants get rabies? What if this one just kind of like went off and started attacking other elephants?
You think it's an elephant with rabies?
Okay, I don't know if elephants can get rabies, but just like...
If they can get rabies.
Yeah, well, because elephants aren't super aggressive, right? Yeah, maybe it was just like a particularly aggressive one that was attacking its herd. Or it's real, and it's a cryptid, and that's what I'm going to believe.
There are some explanations, and I'm going to tell them to you.
Nah.
Number 1, dinosaur. Number 2, semi-aquatic rhino. Number 3, forest rhino. And number 4, my new favorite cryptid until next week when you tell me about another one.
Number 1, dinosaur. End of list. It's a dinosaur. That's it.
I'm going to actually talk about each of those. Except for the last one, I guess. On the pro side of the dinosaur camp, we have Dr. Roy McCall, who has his PhD in biology and did a shit ton of cryptozoology work before he died in, I think it was 2013. R.I.P. He thinks it might be a ceratopsian or centrosaurus, like a descendant of one of those. So a ceratopsian, think like you know what a triceratops looks like? Okay.
Yeah, I'm Googling pictures right now.
Triceratops, but with one horn instead of 3 horns.
Okay.
But it also doesn't have the neck frill thing behind the horns and behind the head. And it has floppy ears and not actual, like, lizard ears or dinosaur ears. So those are the things. So that's kind of like an against the point. To the point, it does kind of look like it.
Also, dinosaurs are extinct.
Maybe, well, it's not saying like, yes, this is a dinosaur. It's like, it's a further evolved form of a dinosaur, kind of like how birds evolved from dinosaurs. Maybe this one just survived in like a fairly similar form. Because I think alligators or crocodiles are one example of a species that like hasn't evolved much since the time of dinosaurs. So I think he means like this could be another case.
That makes sense. Okay.
The cons are that young Earth theorists use the Emela Ntouka and this dinosaur explanation as a reason to prove that humans and dinosaurs existed at the same time. So I'm going to say fuck this theory because young Earth theorists are the worst.
Did you ever see that video of like some lady who dumps out a box of plaster and she said, if I paid you $100 to make dinosaur bones out of this, you would do it. That's what paleontologists do. I'm going to send it to you because it's buck wild. I like her energy, but it's in the wrong place.
But she could pay me $100 and I would make dinosaur bones. I mean, $100 is $100.
Exactly.
All right, theory 2.
Okay.
Semi-aquatic rhino, because it is known to spend some time in lakes. This theory is purported by Loren Coleman. He is very big in cryptozoology. He's the one who wrote the encyclopedia, Cryptozoology A to Z, that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, nice.
It does look very similar to a rhino in terms of the fact that it has a horn, and he does seem to know things. So I trust that a little bit.
Okay, compelling.
The other theory
he knows things.
Is that it's a forest rhino. So this is from Lucien Blancou in that 1950s article. So he talked to, and I quote from my own writing, the top dipshits in charge of the French Congo. And they gave him a bunch of reports of this creature that they gathered from the native people living there. Loren Coleman does not like this theory. He thinks it's a semi-aquatic rhino, not just like a straight-up rhino living in the forest. Because, again, rhinos don't really spend a lot of time in rivers from what I understand, or what I remember from the safari at Animal Kingdom. They like mud.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, rivers are kind of, it's like half mud when you think about it.
It is.
Because it's like water but without the dirt.
I mean, it is. But it's not the same. Because they like take a mud bath and then they're like, ah yes, my clothing for the day. It is dirt.
Well, it is dirt. Yeah, I also just feel like, I don't know, it just living in the forest seems weird to me. I don't think there'd just be like 6 rhinos or whatever. That's just like, we're going to live in the woods. Well, hold on. I would do that.
It's true, and I'm going to blow your mind right now. There actually don't remember, some forest rhinos that live in Asia. Like, there are rainforest rhinos, for realsies. Not cryptids.
Interesting.
Like, confirmed by biologists who don't do cryptozoology.
So by fake biologists.
Basically.
By biologists who work for the man.
Biologists that the government pays. Not biologists that get paid
to make dinosaur bones.
To make dinosaur.
Correct.
So that actually seems like somewhat of a possibility to me. I don't think it's an actual rhino, though. So in my opinion, it's not a rhino because they think the horn is made from ivory, not keratin. Maybe it's something evolved from dinos, but I don't think so because it is not reported to lay eggs, so it's not reptilian. I don't think there are any reptiles that do live births. It also has...
I think... Are snakes reptiles?
Yes, but they lay eggs.
Some snakes give live births.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah. But none with legs that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a reptile. It doesn't do that, and it doesn't have like also has floppy ears, which most reptiles really don't have ears. But it could also just be something else that we just don't know of yet because we can't find it, and the people who can find it won't go near it for obvious safety reasons. The other thing is that we're not sure if they exist anymore. They were thought to have existed until at least the mid-20th century, but they also might not exist anymore because of deforestation. Literally, like, getting rid of most of their habitat.
Well, that's a bummer. I have a question.
Yes.
So, when you said that its horn looks like it's made out of ivory, isn't... Okay. So I understand that ivory and keratin are different, but they're both, like, white, right? So if people aren't going to go up near it, they're not going to be able to tell if it's ivory versus Like a rhino horn is keratin and elephant's tusk or
Right,
ivory.
but I don't think the keratin is actually white in rhino horns. I
Okay.
think it's more like skin color for them. Yeah, it's more of like a
Oh.
grayish brownish. Some of it's a little bit white, but
All right, I don't know what a rhino looks like, I guess. Learn something new every day.
But yeah, that's all I have for this cryptid. I love it. I thought at first, when I was reading like the Wikipedia descriptions, that it was literally like a unicorn hippo. Because some of them described it as a hippo.
Kind of.
Right? And I literally drew one on my little whiteboard for the week.
Did you?
Yes, I forgot to take a picture. But yes, Emela Ntouka, pretty cool. Wish it still existed, even though it probably doesn't, which is sad. Save the environment, or else we'll have no more cryptids.
Yeah, save the environment, save the cryptids.
Thank you. So my sources for this week were 18 Years on Lake B by J.E. Hughes and Notes... Oh, God, no, I'm not actually reading this. Lindsay, I'm going to make you read this. You took languages.
Okay, so I don't know which vowels you're supposed to leave out in French, but it translates to notes on the mammals of the French African equator. Notes sur le mammifères de l'équateur africain français.
Thank you. That was much better than I could do. I would have literally said notes sur les.
French is a dumb language because you don't say half the letters, and I will stand by that.
I agree.
You may quote me on that.
Fuck the French. Anyway, both of those articles can be found on the Rhino Resource Center website. They had PDFs. But they only included PDFs of the part that specifically talked about rhinos. My other sources were Cryptozoology A to Z by Loren Coleman and Jerome. And finally, the article Emela Ntouka, Democratic Republic of Congo by Rob Morphy on cryptopia.us.
Oh, I love Cryptopia.
Yeah, Cryptopia is my friend. Alright, so, if you would like more cryptid content, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, not Facebook, Tumblr, at JustMightExistPodcast. No? No.
No. It's Just Might Exist. The handle on socials is only the title. If you want to send in your stories about, aliens, Bigfoot, this fellow, that's JustMightExistPodcast at gmail.com.
If you have a fever dream about the send us that as well, because I had many of them, and I can't remember a single one.
Erica, you need to write this down. We need content.
I can move, Lindsay. I can only suffer. All right, Lindsay, it's your favorite time. What's our cryptid of the week?
Our cryptid of the week was me lying on the floor this morning because my bed hadn't decompressed from shipping.